So the next step would be to have a page for the tacos, a page for the dogs, and a page for the deliveries. So what I'm going to do is, instead of rebuilding this, like, it would not make sense to have to retype this thing every time, and I'd probably make some errors. So that would be silly. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to duplicate it, and this will instead be our tacos, and I duplicate it again, and it would be our dogs, and I duplicate it again, and it would be deliveries. Now the other thing is, I want these to be links. So I could duplicate and then link them all, but then I have to link them all for each and every page. Or I can just go back in here and edit, and I can make the links now. And I just have to make sure that whatever I call the pages matches. So here is our tacos, which is right here. So I'm going to do a href for hypertext reference, and this will be our tacos.html, and I will close that anchor tag, and this would be A for anchor, href, so hyperlink or hypertext reference, and this will be our dogs.html, and we'll close that anchor, and this will be a href equals deliveries.html, and we'll close that out. Now if we save it and we refresh it, these are now links, and you can see the little hand. Now one thing that I like to do, and it's sort of like the table borders. The table borders by default now are set to 0, but if someone's using a really old browser or a weird browser, they might have a border. The same thing on these images. When you make a link for an image, it will sometimes put a border around it, a really ugly border, if they are using an old or an unusual browser. So I like to always border or zero out my borders for these images too, just in case. And we will see no difference right now. So I've saved it and I refreshed it, so you don't see any difference. If I switch this to border equals 1 and I refresh it, that's what it used to do. Whenever you'd link an image, that's what you would see, unless you zeroed out the border. So borders are zeroed out just in case. And this is now saved, and it's got the links in there. So I'm going to duplicate, and this will be our tacos, and I'm going to duplicate, and this will be our dogs, and I'm going to duplicate, and this will be deliveries. I just have a hard time spelling that one. So now what I can do is I can go into each one, and I can make any changes I want. So maybe about our tacos. So I'll save it, and maybe this one is in the title. Now I guess it helps if I can make this big enough so you can see. So on the previous one, I just came in and I modified the title to be about our tacos. So this will be about our dogs, and I'll save it, and I'll make this one following that same pattern. I'm sure you can guess. About deliveries. I think I'm spelling that word right. At least if not, I think I'm spelling it wrong consistently. Now, if I refresh this, these links work now, but you can't really tell because all the websites look the same. However, at the top you can see it's changing. So maybe I want to just make a new image for each one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and image crop this just so I have the same size, and I'm going to drop in a few other images. So I've created my 3 images that I'm going to replace. that I'm going to use to replace this image on these other sites or on these other spots. So they're going to be the one for my delivery page, the one for about our dogs page, and the one for about our tacos page. So I need to go ahead and save these. And to make them consistent, what I did was I used that original mock-up that I had with this guy, and I just started replacing parts. So I put a new image on, and I used the same text. And I even started using the same purple bar too. I just made it a little bit thinner since that was the front page. But it should help create sort of a consistency by keeping some of those things the same. So I'm going to go ahead and save this for web. I'm going to keep it as a JPEG because JPEGs are best for photos, most efficient for photos at least. So I'm going to go around 65. I think that's pretty decent. And this will be taco dog. Or no, I'm going to do, I'm going to do taco dog underscore graphics underscore deliveries. I probably don't need such a long name, but yeah, I just want to keep things organized. So JPEG 65, good. And taco dog graphics deliveries, we'll change this to dogs. And file save for web 65, good. Taco dog underscore graphics deliveries, we'll change that to tacos. Alright, so we can go ahead and close out of Photoshop because I'm done with that. And I'm going to go ahead and edit each one of these. So I'm looking for my taco dog front graphic, which should be this right here. Let me zoom in so you can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm going to replace my taco dog front graphic, which is my little buddy here, with whatever is appropriate for each one. So for our tacos, I want my taco dog underscore graphics underscore tacos. So taco dog graphics underscore tacos. So I'm going to go and save that. And I'm going to open the next one. So our dogs, open with text edit, zoom in a bit so you can see what I'm doing. Let's find our front graphic. Here it is. So that's going to be, since we're on our dogs, it's going to be graphics underscore dogs.jpg. We'll save that. And we'll open our last one. And I could do more on each one of these to like change more stuff, but it's just kind of a fun site just to prove the point that I can build a layout with a table. So it doesn't really matter. It's okay. If I was doing more, if it was a bigger site, maybe. But yeah. Alright, so let's see if this worked. So I'm on index.html, my front page. Everything looks fine. If I go to our tacos, nice, there's my taco. If I go to dogs, there's the corgi. And if I go to deliveries, here's our guy with the delivery. So once you have all of this, once you have a website with different pages and everything looks fine and it appears to be working, then your next step is to actually upload it to the internet, upload it to a server, and that's what the next video after the series of building your sites will be about. So you can check that out next.